Peace, love, and strength to you. This is Modern Mountain Monk. My name is Kyle, and I'm a meditation and fitness teacher from a spiritual perspective. Peace from Colorado. Today we're going to look at 7 habits of highly effective warriors. Spiritual warriors. And if you haven't read the book, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, it's by Stephen Covey. But I wanted to go kind of more into kind of the spiritual realm of spiritual warriors and kind of the daily habits that spiritual warriors put themselves into to tune into God and tune into nature. And those are kind of some of the 7 habits. And the first one is physical health. A lot of spiritual warriors are extremely healthy and they have healthy food, healthy daily habits, and the food that they eat is very simple. It's not like they're reading the latest uh, magazine in the food co-op checkout line, where it's like someone who's very beautiful on the outside, and they have these suggestions of like the hottest thing, new thing that's a magical food. Spiritual warriors, they eat very very simply. Maybe rice, vegetables, really fresh foods. Um, and they eat those kind of like every day. It's kind of like a habitual thing. That's kind of what their mindset is just kind of wholesome food. And that's what makes them feel the best. Um, a lot of things that Americans and other Westerners eat is not good for our health, our physical health, for obvious reasons. A lot of them are like made in factories. A lot of them are just like the food is added with so many different things that I can't even pronounce. So I don't think that's kind of good for us. I think we want food that comes directly from nature, and our bodies, our bodies are nature. And so in tuning, getting our bodies in tune with the flows of nature, and that's kind of our second habit as well, as being in nature and seeing that our body is one with nature when we're in nature. So with habit number 2, it's like as much as I can, I'm doing my activities outside. I'm breathing fresh air. It's not like we have to go to a national park to truly get in tune with nature. We can go outside to the local park, or just looking at the tree outside our window, watching the birds fly. And kind of one that I learned from my teachers, my recent favorite one is just going outside and observing the hugeness of the sky, and especially at night with the starry sky, and just seeing like, okay, I'm one with everything that is out there in nature. Earth, Mother Earth has a soul. Mother Earth has a soul, and we are tuning into that through the manifestation of trees, animals, plants, and even people. I know it's really hard. I have a difficult time with seeing everybody as Mother Nature, but as well, because it's easy to see people through the lens of their addictions, their egoic kind of tendencies. But being out in nature, you kind of begin to see what you truly are, and it's so important. And if you can combine your physical health habits with being in nature, such as doing tai chi outside or doing yoga at the park, and getting some sun and moving and doing maybe asanas in the grass and really feeling the soil, it's so healthy for us. So healthy for us. Another habit number 3 is meditation, and meditating in silence, getting lots and lots of silence. Spiritual warriors tend to be how most people can probably consider them loners. Um, they might have families and things like this, but they spend a lot of time in silence and alone. And it's not that they don't like other people, it's that like when we're alone, we can kind of go inwards and tune into our inner silence. and that connects with the outward silence. You know, when you're maybe a monk inside of your own cabin in the mountains, and there's this like non-duality between the silence inside the cabin and through the walls to the silence out in nature in the forest. And to be in meditation is an extremely powerful way. It's probably the most powerful method for tuning into the true self, tuning into God's love, tuning into the peace of nature, tuning into the power of Mother Nature and the earth. Meditation is something that monks and spiritual warriors do daily. And it changes your biochemistry, it changes your physical body, even, and it changes your consciousness's relationship to your body. And instead of seeing it as a problem with so much tension, and I need to get away from this body because it's so hard to be inside of, it's more like through meditation, we begin to have the courage to be inside of our body and decide, like, dang, I'm going to heal in this lifetime. I'm going to heal and become my true self again. I want to become my deepest self again. And it's like a recognizing. So in meditation, it's like a recognizing of what you are. And it's like, oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, that's what I am. And it's such an amazing feeling. Meditating is my favorite thing in the world. So I hope to share that with you as well. Simplicity, habit number 4. So as I kind of said with food and spending time outside and with like money as well, not overspending and not even really putting so much attention on money. You know, people who are habitually in poverty, they're worrying about money a lot, and even really rich people. You'd think that like your problems about money would go away if you're like, if I was rich, I wouldn't have to worry about money. I could just kind of buy whatever I want. But it seems to me that a lot of people get addicted to money, and the more you get, the more addicted you become. You know, probably 80 to 90% of people who are getting richer and richer. That's probably the case. It's just with money and power, you get so addicted to it. And a spiritual warrior lives a simple life, whatever that looks like to them, because to everybody's true nature, there's like an amount of materials that they're going to naturally consume. And that's not going to be a whole lot. And it's not going to be very, very little either. Like a lot of people are going to be kind of in the middle to a little bit less than most people. Um, like, especially in terms of food. Like I said, simple food, rice, vegetables, breads, fruit, a lot of fruit, a lot of juices, natural foods. And I, this is my view. You can disagree with me, but in my view, the vegan/vegetarian diet, specifically 90% vegan, is the best diet. It is the diet that for most people are meant to live, eating very, very minimal amount of animal products, especially decreasing by 99% the amount of meat that we're consuming on Earth. Unless you're living in the forest and needing to hunt for meat to survive, that's a different story. But most people living in culture, we don't really even need meat at all. If you are eating a lot of meat, slowly getting off of it. It might take 6 months, might take 6 years. I don't know, but for me, it was actually relatively easy to wean off of meat for me, and I hardly ever crave meat. As a vegan vegetarian, I might crave things like eggs or cheese, things like this, but I'm not like craving a beef burger anymore. It's just I know the food that wants to be in my body. It's like my body and my spirit recognizes Mother Earth's bounty of fruits and vegetables and grains, and that's what I want to eat. My true self wants to eat. Now, sometimes, I'm gonna have chocolate. I love chocolate, and I probably eat a lot of dark chocolate, but I love it, and that's just kind of a thing I do. Um, Now, moving on to habit number 5. Now, I think a lot of people who are really into meditation and yoga, I think they trip over anger. Now, I learned a lot about anger from my spiritual teacher. Anger is a natural human emotion. It's a natural human emotion that's inside of us, and we all feel it from time to time. A lot of us in our culture are like suppressing our anger, and that's hard thing to do, like when you're like scared to speak at work about like you're scared to speak up for yourself at work. This can happen to me as well. um Advocate self advocacy to because there's boundaries. We all have certain boundaries, and it takes a while to tune into where are my boundaries. And a lot of people who are doing these 9 to 5 jobs, they don't recognize sometimes like the boundaries that are getting stepped across by our economy and our 9 to 5 schedule in terms of their spiritual and physical health. We 99% of our history, 99.999% of our history, we were hunter gatherers and living very healthy spiritual lives with our community. And we weren't in 9 to 5 jobs. So this is a brand new thing to be in 9 to 5 jobs. And so we don't know these boundaries so much anymore. And we view ourselves as like, I'm a worker bee. We're not worker bees by nature. We're actually by nature supposed to be out in nature, and our central nervous systems are supposed to be really calm, very, very calm. And anger comes up when people step across these boundaries. Healthy anger is recognizing, hey, you crossed a boundary. If someone's going to be coming into my apartment like uninvited, there's going to be anger inside of me. Like get out, get the out, you know? And that's actually a healthy thing. So that's took a while for me to understand from my spiritual teacher. And another thing that he says is like anger that's can sometimes be put out into the world, like we're blaming the outside world for these things, for kind of our feeling angry. And if we don't fully feel this anger as power, which I'm going to get to in a second, that anger is going to stay inside of us and get stuck inside of our system as similar how trauma does. So to let loose of these inner knots caused by the past instances where we didn't allow anger to be let out as power, um, we need to be doing that from now on. Anger is an energy with power as its source. And it's not just like power over somebody, not like going to jujitsu and grappling someone to the ground. That's a physical power. That's part of it. It's like a metaphor of the kind of power I'm speaking about. But the power that I mentioned in my previous video is like the power from your lower belly that's always, always present. This is where anger is derived. And so inside of the anger is power. And so a lot of warriors like tune into this as their central node of like being strong, is this power in the hara, under the belt, like in the belly. So specifically, it's a few inches, a few centimeters below the belly button, and a few centimeters, a few inches inside towards the spine. That's kind of your central hara that that houses this innate power. Number 6, I kind of mentioned a few things. Habit 6 is we live every day this way. We have this be a lifestyle. Like a spiritual warrior is not, it's not a strategy and it's not a method. It's what and who you are. And so like for me, for example, it's taken time, but it's like when I wake up in the morning, I know, okay, today I know I'm going to be doing my exercises, my stretches, my yoga, my meditation, and trying to, if I'm not too busy, get out in nature somehow. So these are the things that I'm just going to do every day. And I'm going to eat really healthy food, go to the natural foods grocery store, cook some broccoli and rice, things like this. And I do that every day. You know, I eat like a monk. I eat like a monk. Super simple. I white rice is my favorite food, and I love vegetables, and I could eat that every day. And so simple food, and our lifestyle gets simpler and simpler. And I'm living, for example, right now in a small little apartment, as you can see. But like being simple is different than like just thinking I need to live in a small place. Maybe someday I'll live in a bigger house, and that'll be okay. And that'll give me, I think, a bigger house, not like a giant mansion, but like a house with a room that maybe you can do your yoga and exercise and meditation in. And then you have your bedroom, and then you have your family room, and then you have like a really nice kitchen where you can cook healthy food. And maybe you have a large deck where you can host people outside and enjoy your beautiful garden in the backyard. Things like this. These are what most people desire anyways, is to have a nice middle class lifestyle. And that's pretty ideal to having your daily life be about spiritual awakening and be as healthy as possible. So your every day, your mind, your heart, and your hara is like, I am healthy, I'm healing, and I'm awakening every day without excuses. No excuses. Every day I'm awakening and I'm healing. And most importantly, the last habit, the most important, not really a habit. It's a heart set, not a mindset, but it is kind of a mindset, but bringing it down to the heart and opening your heart to the divine, whatever that is for you, whatever word you use. It's divinity. Divinity is the highest vibration in existence, and it is the ultimate intelligence of love, truth, power, and peace. And we open to that because that is what we truly are, and that's what reality truly is. And we open ourselves literally to the divine, because the divine is the boss. I learned this from my teacher. The divine, God, is the boss, and we are his servants. So having faith in the divine, because your highest good is in the eyes of the divine. We are made in the likeness and image of God, according to Christianity in the Bible. And there's a lot of truth to that. Like God and the divine is watching over us to become even more perfect, even more divine. God is working through us to bring about a humanity here on earth that reflects exactly heaven and the divine. And we are her instruments. Okay, so those are the 7 habits. I wish you a peaceful evening. I'll see you at the next video. Peace.